Good morning, everyone. Charles from Product Day Trader here. So today I'm going to go over bounces and rejects with you guys. So not too hard to understand, but if you're new to trading and you're just seeing this, you're like, what is that? What is that? So let's get right into it. So bounces. Bounces when we want the stock to come down to a certain level. We expect it to bounce off that level and go back to the upside. The same thing with rejects, but the opposite. You expect it to go up to a certain level and then reject off that resistance and come back to the downside. So I'm going to show you guys a quick example. So right here we have this morning I posted beyond 70.5 to 70 bounce /70 bounce. So I expected to bounce rather at 70.5 or if it breaks below that around 70ish or in between. So this is an example right now. You see it actually worked out perfectly this morning. So right at opening in the market, it was beyond 70.5 bounce, right? So 70.5 is right here. You see it got down to around 70.4 and then it bounced. So the way to play bounces is you would have bought in. You could buy a little bit earlier. You could buy right on 70.5, or you could buy a little bit below if it breaks below, and just add if it continues to go low. Your stop loss would have been below the 70 because if it didn't bounce at 70, that means it's likely not going to bounce. So let's just say it got to right here to 70. You add right here. If you already got it at 70.5, you would add right here. It breaks below that, then you're out. Okay, it's not going to bounce. The play just didn't make it. On to the next. But you see right here, if you would have entered beyond, let's say 70.5, you'd have been down for a second, and then off of that, it just went up to highs pretty much. So it was a pretty good bounce on beyond if you took it this morning. And the same thing would be rejects. So actually, guys, right here. So the way bounces and rejects work, bounces goes off of support, and the support can be made by just the normal support lines from the buyers and sellers, from the resistance lines, trend lines, from the 8 EMAs, 21 EMAs, VWAP, all that. That's how you do your support. Same thing with resistance. It could be from the top of the trend lines, the bottom of the trend lines, the 8, the 21. They all work for the same thing. So right here, we could see if we go back a bit, this was pre-market highs. Pre-market highs was right here, and look at beyond. I could say, okay, beyond 73 reject. That's what happens. Beyond gets to pre-market highs, it couldn't break, and it rejected. Came all the way back down to around 70, 71-ish. You have your levels set already on what your price targets is. It could be 10%, 15%, 20%. That's exactly how you play bounces and rejects. And that's really all there is to it. When there's intraday trading, right? So let's say intraday, we're always saying, watch bounce this, watch bounce that. So I would say something like this. Let's say I see beyond trending upwards and beyond at 73.3-ish, I see it trending upwards. I want it to come down to the 8 EMA or like this resistance right here. I would say beyond 73 bounce, beyond 70.8 bounce, something like that. It comes down, you start averaging in here, in at this level. You might have to add some more. If it closes below, then it's not a valid play. But if it stays and holds, you would add in around this level, around this area of resistance and support. As you can see, it ended up bouncing right there. It came down a little bit, but ended up bouncing overall. And right there is how you would have played the bounce and made your profits.